My dear brothers and sisters, we're in the hills above Berkeley, very close to the Berkeley Rose Garden, a very, very special place indeed. And we're going to be planting a victory garden for winter. You never wait until winter to plant your winter garden. You do it now, mid-summer. And we're doing this because the newspapers are filled with stories and with headlines about food shortages. They're already occurring in many, many places indeed. And some people are saying, look at Sri Lanka to see a fast forward of where we're heading. And that's all the more tragic. It need not be. We can rely upon ourselves, upon our neighbors and friends, and upon this American earth to sustain us. We only have to, all that's required is to treat this earth with loving kindness and to do the right thing. So now, let's reflect a bit. It occurs to me that victory gardens are no longer an option. They've become a necessity. Everyone join with friends and neighbors and plant a victory garden. And if you happen to live in an apartment, you still have the chance and the opportunity to join a community garden. Each one of us, by the way, should begin the garden in our kitchen. That's where things begin, with at least 3 compost buckets. A bucket for every food scrap, for every carrot top, for every banana peel, for every apple core, for every melon rind. All of those go in the compost to be turned into living earth. Then there should be a bucket, of course, for plastic, and a bucket, of course, for paper and for cardboard. That's the very, very least that we can be doing to recycle, to restore things to this American earth. And of course, if you don't have a compost pile, take your bag of compost at least once a week over to your community garden. They will compost for you, and they will be so thankful indeed. You're doing a good thing, a good turn for all. So let's go ahead and dedicate ourselves to digging up that front lawn, to digging up that back lawn, to digging up that backyard, and to planting a victory garden. And this is a way to play judo, so to speak, with climate change. All right, things are warming up, but that also means, on the other hand, that the growing season is being extended. All of us, wherever we live, will have a long autumn growing season at the very least, and many of us, such as in California, in Florida, and the southern states, will be able to grow to be able to grow salad greens all winter long. The secret is to do your planting now. And in this one flat here, I'm going to be planting my entire winter garden. And of course, once the seedlings come up, I will transplant them to other flats and transplant them again. And until they're this high, then I will plant them in their permanent beds in the garden. And as I say, a winter garden and a victory garden has become a necessity. And in doing so, we're only following in the footsteps of our forebears. Your grandparents had victory gardens during the Second World War. Indeed, there were something like 18 million victory gardens, 6 millions out in the country, and 12 million in cities and in towns. Even the White House lawn was dug up. Can you imagine that? And under Eleanor Roosevelt's supervision, there was a victory garden right in front of the White House. Very, very different times indeed. And they made a real difference. In 1943, some 40% of the vegetables that people consumed were grown in their victory gardens. So let's go ahead and let's start with planting, and let's start with lettuce, but of course, and we're going to start with winter density lettuce. This is a lettuce which I've got from Pine Tree Garden Seeds, a wonderful seed company in Maine. And winter density will grow anywhere, USA. A wonderful lettuce, very vigorous, disease resistant. You just can't go wrong with winter density lettuce. And then we're going to do another lettuce, a great standby called Marvel of Four Seasons. It's of so many, it's of rose and bronze and yellows and reds. Marvel of Four Seasons. And here we go. And let's plant that. And by the way, one secret, by the way, is that you never cover your lettuce seeds. Just plant your lettuce seeds right on top of your growing bed and leave them right there, just like that. Marvel of Four Seasons. And then after that, you've guessed it, we're going to be planting some kale. Kale is a wonderful standby, and it will grow. It will flourish. It will flourish all winter long. It loves cold weather. It thrives in cold, rainy weather. You can be sure. And this is a very special kale. It's called green peas, and I got this from the Seed Savers Exchange, a wonderful, wonderful group of people in Missouri, in the Midwest, and they're dedicated to preserving our genetic heritage. So here we go, green peas kale. And then after that, why not plant some mustard greens? This is an heirloom variety of mustard. It grows magnificently. It's vigorous. It makes the very, very best of salad greens. So here we go with a magnificent mustard. It's called Bird, after the family that preserved it for generations. Mustard greens. And then, as you've guessed it, some spinach. And this is Olympia spinach from the Territorial Seed Company up in Oregon. Olympia spinach. And then we've got to have some beets, but of course, and I love golden beets. They're so photogenic, and their glorious green, their glorious leaves make wonderful, wonderful, wonderful salad greens. So let's do some golden beets. Okay. And last but not the least, Parsley, this is a parsley that I've got from Johnny's Selected Seed, another wonderful company in Maine, doing so much to preserve heirloom and historic varieties of seeds. So here we go with parsley. Now all of the seeds that I've planted will germinate within a week to 10 days. But parsley will germinate in 3 weeks. Just be patient, it will come through. This is a wonderful plain leaf, Italian type parsley. And let's conclude with a Swiss chard, also from Johnny's Selected Seeds, and they call this a peppermint Swiss chard because the stalks of the chard are a glowing pink. Swiss chard. And that completes our winter garden. But one more thing has to happen. Can't you guess what that is? My colleague, John Kozak, who started our company with me, John Kozak, a genuine farmer. Remember, we started out as farmers. We had a tree farm here in California in West Marin, and we grew heirloom and historic fruit trees, which are now growing in backyards everywhere. And John Kozak, my colleague, used to say that the biggest event in a seed's life is watering. But of course, these seeds have been dormant for in some cases several years, and now with the magic of water we're going to be bringing them back to life. And that's it. We've begun. We've begun, brothers and sisters. And it's a long, long road. There's no question at all but that the social fabric here is deeply formed. And it's our duty and our task, each one of us, to exemplify life force, exemplify living. The times call it more than at any other time before. It is our task and duty to bring about the renewal of this great America, the regeneration of this people, the recreation of this American earth, and the redemption of the American spirit. Let us go forward, brothers and sisters. We will do it. We will bring it about. It is a privilege to share with you. And don't forget about our video contest. Take us on a walking tour of your victory garden. Show us around. Play Mozart, Brahms, and Beethoven in the background. And we're offering gift certificates as prizes for the very best walking tours. So please consider that. Your comments, your critiques are so very welcome indeed. My privilege to share with you. Please accept our good wishes for good health, prosperity, and success to you and to your families. Thank you indeed.